everyone, thank you for joining me. Today we are making Ishgardian muffins. They are from the Ultimate Final Fantasy Cookbook, as well as the coffee biscuits. If you didn't see that video, check that one out. It's fairly straightforward apart from when we have to put it in the refrigerator for 12 to 18 hours. In a large bowl we are combining our bread flour, which is 390 grams or 2.5 cups. We've then got our whole wheat flour, which is at the back there, that's 75 grams or a half cup. We need 1.5 teaspoons of salt. As always, I'm just going to put a bit in. And then we need a teaspoon of sugar, which I put in with our whole wheat flour, and our yeast, which is a teaspoon of active dry yeast. So that's perfect. So that is our dry mix all ready to go. And then we need to make a wet mix to go in there as well. So we have, where are we? 180 ml of oat milk. This is 3/4 cup. We then need 125 ml of water or a half cup and a tablespoon of butter. So that's my butter there. This is my oat milk and 125 of water. So with this, you can either do it on the hob. I wouldn't do it for too long though, because, or you can do it in the microwave, purely for the fact it only wants it to be 38 to 43 degrees. Now the reason it's a room temperature-ish temperature is to help that yeast to activate, and then it'll help your dough be stretchier. So you don't want to overdo it, you don't want to underdo it. Lovely, so that's ready to go. We're then going to pour that into our dry mix until the dough comes together. It should be a little bit sticky, but not too much. If it is, obviously you can add a bit more flour. And then we just need to form a dough. I will say with this I used margarine, which is why it's not quite melted through. So if you use proper butter, it should be, well, at least look better than mine. Lovely, so now I have my dough mixed together. It does say to brush the top of it with some oil, and then cover it with plastic wrap, and like I said, refrigerate it for 12 to 18 hours. So I'll do that and I will see you tomorrow. What I will say with this is, personally, I'm just going to literally just put a tiny bit in my hand and plop it on top, just because it's just more things to wash otherwise. But yeah, it's all kind of ready to go, and then tomorrow will be sort of mostly kneading it and shaping it. So realistically, I wouldn't worry about working it too much at the moment. The other side to kneading it too much is you can overstretch it and then it will be quite tough and hard to work with tomorrow. But yeah, I will see you tomorrow. Good morning everyone. It has been about 13 hours. We now need to punch down the dough and knead it for about a minute. It needs to be on a lightly floured work surface just so it doesn't stick, and then we're going to let it rest for an hour. So let's just get that done. I'm surprised with how much it actually did rise overnight. being in a fridge. Oh, it does smell good though. It smells really bready. Lovely. So it just says cover it with a kitchen towel and then let it rest for an hour. So I will see you in an hour. Perfect. So it's been an hour. It says to spread cornmeal over a baking tray. In the UK, I cannot find it anywhere. I'm sure there's like a specialist baking shop that probably does it, but I can't find it. So in the UK, if you can't find it, the options are polenta, like the dry mix, plain flour, or oats. So I've gone with oats because later we are putting it on the hob to cook rather than in the oven. I'm thinking if I did plain flour, it probably wouldn't cook very well. It might get a bit gammy, I guess is probably the best way to put it. So I'm feeling like oats is probably our safest option out of the three. And then we are going to roll the dough out and cut it and then let it rest for another hour. So this is what our dough is looking like after an hour. It looks pretty good. I saved that flour from earlier so we can use it to roll out because it is a bit sticky now. Make sure, obviously I'm using gloves, but I still cover myself in flour, and we're gonna flour our rolling pin. I have a marble one just because this stays colder than plastic, and I found it's pretty much easier to clean as well. So let's, yeah, roll it out. Perfect. So it wanted a 1/2 inch thickness for your dough and about a 7.5 diameter on your cookie cutter. This one is an 8. I've only got a 7 or an 8, so I went with the 8. In theory, you should be able to cut 10 to 12 out of this dough, so we'll see how we get on. So what I will say with that is, as I've had to re-roll the dough, it is getting tougher and tougher each time. So if you can get as many as you can out the first and second time, that would be the best. I have got 14 out of this mix, and I maybe could have got another 2 more, but I didn't want to keep working the dough too much because, as I said previously, it'll just get really hard and it won't bake very well. It'll just be quite stodgy. So we're going to leave this for another hour, and then we will be cooking them on a frying pan on the hob. So I will see you then. Okay, I'll be honest, they don't look like they have risen that much. I don't know how much they were supposed to. So I guess we will get them cooking and see what happens. Okay, so we're gonna put 2 or 3 in here, and it says to cook them on each side for about 5 to 6 minutes. So see how we get on. I think I'm gonna do that side first. Perfect. So it's been about 4 or 5 minutes. We're just gonna flip them. Just as a reminder, this is a dry heat. There isn't any oil or butter or anything like that in it. Come on. So they're kind of toasting, really, aren't they? But yeah, they're looking pretty good. They're pretty firm where they have been cooking. So I'll show you what they look like when they're finished. They aren't quite finished just yet, but I have noticed the sides are rising as it's cooking, so at least you know that this center is getting cooked as well. Because if you compare it to, these are the ones that haven't been done yet, they're still quite thin. Yes, I'm really excited about these. They should be good. Perfect. I've done all 14 of them. These are sort of the ones that I did last. They were starting to burn a bit more. It does say on the book to let the pan cool between each batch. I was just worried to keep constantly doing that. I know it's not the best thing to do, but obviously I will say the hotter the pan got, the more it wasn't kind of going golden like this bit. It was just kind of burning instead. So if you're doing more than 12, just keep an eye on it. You could probably get away with getting more than 4 in a pan depending on the size of your pan. Obviously it might just take a bit longer than 5 minutes to do each side. But yeah, give it a go and let me know what you think. As always, stay safe and I will see you in the next one.